Greetings and welcome to the Culture Ward, where we dissect and dismember pop culture in all its forms. Before we begin, please take a second to hit that subscribe button and help us grow the channel. It really means a lot to us. Join the conversation in the comments below, and don't forget to like and share this video if you enjoy the content. Thank you for joining us once again for the weekly wrap-up, where we dive into some recent pop culture news without exerting too much effort. As always, let us know if there's any important stories we missed. Now let's get into it. In yet more Star Wars-centered news, let's talk about one of the most disappointing projects of the past few years. And I know that's a crowded field. While I acknowledge certain problems and shortcomings of the prequel trilogy, overall I like them. I am an apologist for those movies. The story was strong, the action was strong, and most of the performances were strong. One of the greatest things that came out of the prequel era was Ewan McGregor's role as young Obi-Wan Kenobi, who had previously been played by the late Alec Guinness in the original trilogy. Ewan McGregor seemed perfect for the role. He delivered a very satisfying performance, first as Qui-Gon Jinn's Padawan, and then as Anakin's master, with some of the most quotable lines in Star Wars history.
Hello there.
There had been rumblings of an Obi-Wan Kenobi movie for years. Supposedly, there was a story being passed around that was set after Revenge of the Sith, where Obi-Wan had to protect young Luke Skywalker from Tusken Raiders or something. It didn't happen though, but the idea of bringing back Obi-Wan wasn't dropped. As far back as August 2019, it was announced that a Kenobi series was in development for Disney+, with Ewan McGregor set to return to play the famed Jedi Master. Now, I was first extremely skeptical, due to the sequel trilogy having just wrapped up, but the success of The Mandalorian gave me some hope, and I really wanted to see Ewan back as Obi-Wan. After some delays, first due to pandemic restrictions, then due to rewrites, the Obi-Wan Kenobi series finally premiered on Disney Plus in 2022. Set 10 years after Revenge of the Sith, the series follows Obi-Wan in exile on Tatooine, watching over young Luke Skywalker. Struggling with the fall of the Jedi Order and Anakin's transformation into Darth Vader, Obi-Wan is drawn out of hiding when Leia Organa is kidnapped. He embarks on a mission to rescue her, facing Inquisitors, who are Jedi hunters led by the ruthless Reva, while trying to evade the Empire. The series ostensibly explores Obi-Wan's emotional journey, his confrontations with Vader, and his efforts to protect the Skywalker children, and culminating in a climactic duel that tests his resolve and hope for the future. It should have been really good. While there was so much promise to this series, I hate to say that the finished product was pretty awful. Despite a decent performance by Ewan McGregor, as well as the welcome return of Hayden Christensen as Darth Vader, the nonsensical plot, annoying characters, and terrible writing made this show almost unbearable to get through. I mean, the main gripe is that Obi-Wan is essentially relegated to a side character in his own show, with much of the plot focused on the story of Reva, the diverse yet poorly defined Jedi hunter, and her lame arc toward the light side. And what is this Disney habit of having people who are impaled by lightsabers just walking it off? Remember when that used to be fatal? I guess Qui-Gon was just a pussy. And when the show does occasionally focus on Obi-Wan, he acts completely different than his character from the films. He's indecisive, weak, subservient, and, perhaps most clearly, dumb. Remember this scene when he has to try to get through this gate when he could have very clearly just walked around it?
Dum 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 dum.
Obi-Wan gets led around by a 10-year-old girl and finds himself in difficult situations that he only survives due to some deus ex machina, such as the resistance fighter that keeps showing up out of nowhere at the perfect moment to save his ass. And then there was this ridiculous scene of him sneaking Leia out of the Imperial building under his coat. I mean, who's buying this? At any rate, while there was some promise and a few glimpses of what could have been a much better show, ultimately it fell very flat. There were several instances that totally broke continuity, such as 10-year-old Luke Skywalker being chased by a villain with a lightsaber, and then 8 years later not remembering ever having seen one. And the story, the plot itself, of Reva plotting and scheming for a decade, hunting, slaughtering Jedi as well as innocent men, women, and children, just to get close to Darth Vader to get revenge on him for killing Jedi, innocent men, women, and children. It's just so
Dum 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 dum.
Anyway, that show left the fandom split. Casual fans seal-clapped at the nostalgia bait.
Hello there.
And critics, aka the Access Media, praised Disney Lucasfilm like sycophants. However, a large part of the audience was much less positive. And of course, anyone who complained about the many serious issues with the show were summarily branded as racists, no debate. What, you think the show fundamentally changed several characters, including Obi-Wan, Leia, and Luke, and it broke continuity with the original trilogy? You must be a racist. And it frankly left a bad taste in people's mouth about the show, the showrunners, Disney Lucasfilm, and even the actors that lashed out at fans.
You're no Star Wars fan in my mind.
But then it quickly disappeared from the public consciousness and was relegated to the dung heap that is Disney Star Wars content.
That is one big pile of shit.
No doubt to be forgotten and buried forever. Right? It has been 3 years now without any real talk about this show or its potential future. Ewan McGregor has made a few comments in interviews about being open to returning to the role, as has Hayden Christensen, but no buzz about any Obi-Wan projects in development. Well, until now. So Obi-Wan Kenobi Season 2 finally gets a positive update from Ewan McGregor. Obi-Wan, that's a name I haven't heard in a long, long time. 2 years to be precise, as Star Wars fans far and wide have been clamoring for more Obi-Wan Kenobi following the dramatic conclusion of Season 1, even though the show was originally intended as a limited series. One of those fans is none other than old Ben Kenobi himself, Ewan McGregor, who has been advocating for more stories about Obi-Wan ever since Season 1 ended. Lucasfilm has been largely silent on another season of Obi-Wan Kenobi, but if recent comments from Ewan McGregor are to be believed, a second season has never been closer. McGregor recently made an appearance at the recent LA Comic-Con where he officially confirmed that Lucasfilm is exploring ideas for a second season of Obi-Wan Kenobi. It's a small but significant step for the show's potential return, as it clearly implies that real discussions between McGregor and Lucasfilm have taken place. It may still not be an official green light for Season 2, but it's the most positive update a follow-up to Obi-Wan Kenobi has gotten since its release. His statement is as follows. One idea for a continuation is obviously between the end of the Obi-Wan Kenobi series and when Alec Guinness's Obi-Wan Kenobi, there's got to be another few stories in there, and we're definitely hoping, well, exploring that, I think would be the word to say. McGregor also went on to explain some things he'd like to see should a second season of Obi-Wan be given the go-ahead. One such element was a chance to see the live-action Obi-Wan in his armored look from Star Wars The Clone Wars, which Hayden Christensen got the chance to do with Anakin Skywalker's appearance in Ahsoka. Speaking of Christensen, McGregor also shared that he would love to work with his longtime prequel trilogy co-star again, even if it's through more flashbacks to the Clone Wars. Disney's Star Wars shows are in an odd state of affairs. Obi-Wan Kenobi Season 2 could be just what Disney Plus needs for exclusive Star Wars content, as the future of the franchise is a bit uncertain as of now. Sure, we still have the second season of Andor and Ahsoka to look forward to, but the cancellation of The Acolyte and the rumored scrapping of The Mandalorian Season 4 in favor of The Mandalorian and Grogu leaves the franchise in an odd spot. Hopefully McGregor and fans' wishes will come true and we'll be able to say hello there to one of Star Wars' most beloved characters yet again. So that's it. I know it's not much, and probably won't amount to much either. There are so many reported shows, movies, projects in the pipeline at Lucasfilm, most of which are delayed, shelved, paused, or in early development, that an unannounced sequel to a divisive Disney Plus series 3 years after the first season ended is probably not high on anyone's priority list. Even if that changes in the very near future, it would be at least another 2+ years before anything happens with it. And that would be, a 5-year gap between seasons 1 and 2? Now, the perpetual optimist in me whispers that maybe a new showrunner, with even a shred of appreciation for the source material, could come along and redeem the first season, and make the Obi-Wan Kenobi show that OG fans have been craving for 2 decades. And wouldn't that be awesome? But then the realist in me is always slapping the shit out of that other guy and telling him to stop being so stupid. Obi-Wan's character was ruined, and it's probably going to stay that way. Disney Star Wars' message is always the same. You'll take what we give you and you'll like it. or you're a racist. What about you? What did you think of the original Obi-Wan Kenobi show on Disney+? Do you think they'll make a season 2? Let us know in the comments. As always, thank you so much for watching. Please like and subscribe if you enjoyed the video. Bye for now. We hope to see you next time in the Culture Ward.